You? Or if you run off to make tea?
Yep. I made the tea.
Okay. Ah, excellent. Good. Well, I guess I'm ready.
The recording has started.
Hi, this is Beth, and I'm doing the Halloween version of GURPS Wars. It's an adapted horror one-shot from literally one-shot adventures that I adapted, but the PCs need to not look it up and figure out what I'm adapting because that would be cheating. And then I'd be sad. And the PCs are EO doing Sinnoe and Crash doing Ran.
This will probably go live in February.
Sinone. Details. Crash doing Ran and Ellie doing Antuxa. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, Antuxa.
The 3 apprentices in the Sphere of Logistics who have been told to go find Darth Simont of the Sphere of Mysteries and collect his back taxes. So, what happened last episode?
We found an interesting smell.
A severed head.
Well, that was part of the interesting smell that we found, yes.
And everyone made their fright checks, 2 of you by 8 and 9, respectively. Because you're Sith apprentices, so hey, yeah.
The severed head was disgusting, but it was not frightening.
Yep.
Severed heads usually aren't going to do very much to you on their own, except smell bad.
Also,
Indeed.
I got chummy with the crew of the ship that brought us here, and spread rumors about Sen that made EO laugh out loud. With the intent of making the rest of the crew all be terrified of them. I also played Keep Away with one of the mud skipper crocodile things. I lost. It got to keep its lunch.
Probably good that it didn't lose its lunch. That would be really disgusting.
Sen found a placard that said backstabber.
And there's another placard around the horrible fish lizard thing's neck that's sitting up on the front porch.
Yeah, we left that to the person who can turn invisible to find.
You know what I just realized?
Mm-hmm.
We should have been documenting this entire thing.
It's okay. I've had the recorder on for the entire mission. It's got incredible storage.
Oh, okay.
It compresses it a lot. The multi-day journey here takes about 3 hours of recording time.
Well, once you cut out the silences.
I was drinking my tea. I think we ended it with Anne walking into the building.
That sound about right?
I think that's right.
Because the door was
that's
unlocked.
correct.
You are in.
I mean, Crash, you'd know.
I actually don't remember everything I edited today. Because that was what I was editing this morning. I don't remember what the placard said around the mud skipper's neck.
Let me just do a quick little swoop.
I do remember that you waited to get back to us before dropping invisibility to say, interesting.
The placard around the creature neck reads ignoble and stupid.
So they did label the mud skipper, specifically.
Yes.
Kind of charmed by this.
And what's that ability that Ellie's character can use to get visions of things?
Psychometry.
Yes. You use that on the
Generally
skull.
need to touch it, though.
And you got terror and anger and fear sensations and torture. And the one-liner response was, yes, we've all been Sith apprentices. Yes, I remember
seemed a bit
things
more
in the
intense
context
than
of
just
out-of-context
regular,
quotes.
But that's fair, really. That's fair. So, you stepped in. There's a room here. Let me read the description of the room just for grins. It looks like it's basically a servant's entry. It's got some new looking leather coats there. I suppose they look like maybe raincoats or something. You come from Droman, it's always raining. These look like low-tech versions of what you would wear. There's a bit of mud in the corners here and there, but it looks like someone has generally been cleaning it up. You can wipe your feet on the mat. Everything looks like it's made out of wood or plaster. It's very retro.
I wipe my feet next to the mat.
Darcy, they don't wipe off very well there. You just get them kind of muddy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to clean my boots off. I'm trying to spread the mud. If I wanted the boots cleaned off, I would be using the mat. I am going to check out the coats.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's 3 of them. They look fairly new. They look like someone has at least brushed them off since the last time they got rained on. They look in the mode of, one size fits all rather than tailored to a specific person. The sort of thing you'd kind of expect if someone were ordering it online and then having it delivered. There are no weapons in it. There are no items inside the pockets. I'm sure you're checking those.
I am looking for loose change, yes.
There does not appear to be any loose change in there. You find a weird little retro compass thing in one pocket of the last one you check.
I'm sorry, I was...
How long does it seem...
Sorry?
You go first.
Sen?
No, go ahead. Oh, okay. How long does it seem like they've been here?
The coats, they're dry, and it's kind of starting to drizzle outside.
They're dry, well kept, and the last recorded drop of supplies was a month ago.
Over a month.
Over a month. The timeline is stretching out further than I thought it might be. With us all inside, I'm actually going to close the door.
All right. The door closed.
So I've closed the door.
What, you don't want the lizard to come in?
They're welcome to come in through any open door.
I'm definitely not as good at this as Entuxa. But, yeah, there's no but here. I put my hands and my brain all over the coats, and...
Those certainly are coats, and they really don't have a lot of psychic impression on them, apparently.
I am concerned that you put your brain all over.
My brain is wet.
Meanwhile,
and this one is wet, and this one is wet, and this one is wet. Are we thinking in a rainforest?
And Tuxa, what was that?
I'm opening the door on the far side.
Okay, you peer in. That it's got shelves, and those are display cases for dishes. It's got others that have little glass panes on them. That one has wine glasses. That one has it's got little wooden boxes in it that's probably either where they're keeping the force artifacts or that's where they're keeping the silverware. It kind of depends. There's a basin in the north wall that has water and dishes in it. And there's a cabinet underneath it.
Well, I'll look in the box that might have force artifacts in it and might have silverware.
It has silverware. You were disappointed vaguely. Your parents would probably have put force artifacts in with the silverware, but, well.
No. We have guests coming. Take out the good force artifacts. I'm imagining...
Well, we could start pocketing that silverware as payment for, the tax evasion.
Let me check the invoice for how much we're collecting, and we will need a bigger ship if they are paying in silverware.
I didn't say they were just paying in silverware. I'm saying that it would serve them right if we repossessed all their forks.
I suppose.
Forks, knives, spoons.
Use the forks,
chopsticks. Luke. Can't.
I'm imagining them carving the Life Day turkey with a little knife-sized lightsaber that cooks the bird as they slice it.
Gets a little unevenly cooked that way. Is anyone actually searching this place, or are you just sort of poking around?
I'm poking around
Because
into the kitchen
I believe
here.
some of you. Okay. The kitchen. At first glance, it would appear the facilities are practically Neolithic. There are wooden countertops. There's a small brick oven. It's big enough you could stick like a fat space chicken in there. There's several pots. 3 fresh, dead fowl hang from a wire above a basin in the room's corner. The warm pot near the oven appears to have some kind of stew in it. It smells very spicy.
Anne, Sen,
Yes.
so while outside appearances suggest one thing, someone's been here very recently.
So are
And
you saying that I should stop rifling through the silverware?
I've said nothing of the sort. Only be prepared for someone to provide proper hospitality. Also, Anne, they don't seem to be that bad a cook. I walk out of the kitchen holding a bowl of whatever spicy stew that is. I do hand it to Anne.
Ellie, I cannot hear you if you're responding.
Yes.
Figuring out how to respond.
There's a long silence as Tuxa stares.
I'd be handing it over with a spoon in the bowl, but you've got those already.
I should note that I'm using EO's possible headcanon that pureblood Sith have very little ability to taste the hot version of spices and merely taste the flavor.
I'm operating on the
People eat
assumption.
ghost peppers like apples.
I'm operating on the assumption that I come from a military background, and therefore anything that's better than an MRE is fine dining.
Pretty much. And Tuxa, you are not obliged to take a taste of that soup, but it does smell good.
There's slight wisps of steam coming up from the bowl.
While I appreciate the thoughtfulness, darling, I do prefer not to take the risk that this was poisoned.
Ah, yes. You're quite right. I take one of the spoons and start eating.
Well, it's your stomach.
Yes, it is.
Didn't
And it's
check
delightful.
Anything while rolling search.
Ah, you made your search by 1. Where were you searching? In the
In here.
Okay, the little storage thing. What you discover is that underneath the counter, the basin with the dirty dishes, there's an extremely modern sonic dishwasher hidden.
Oh, so they're not totally rustic.
They are secretly breaking their aesthetic. This is not useful information whatsoever, but I discovered it.
You also discover that the cabinet with the plates, the ones that are on display, there are some others that are underneath that are also very nice looking, but they're not like being, up on little stands showing, yes, how pretty we are. All the ones on display are damaged. They have these weird little spidery cracks in them. And also, I forgot to have you do this. All please make a perception roll that would have been probably at the time technically that you stepped through the door, but you may have. I love how you have all made this by 5, by 4, by 6. Okay. You know how you were all feeling that there were currents of darkness in the Force, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
When you step across the threshold, it's like the currents fade out, or more rather, they thicken so that they're not very noticeable anymore. There's something very dark and slightly wrong about the structure. And
So
there's something else that you find.
So it's not the spices.
One more thing about the search. It's not the spices. There's something
Good.
just wrong about being in here. It feels weird. dark. There's a lot of dark force energy here. I mean, obviously, if there were light force energy, it'd be totally weird. And Sen, when you did the search
Mhm.
along the north wall, which is the outer wall there, there's at the baseboard and very high up a lot of little runes. They're kind of in part of the, wainscoting. There's little paintings of like leaves and things. They're very committed to this aesthetic. But there's also a lot of runes hidden up there, Sith runes.
And Tuxa, do you know what those say?
Do I know what they say? What do I need to roll to know what they say?
Give me either history, ancient knowledge, or occultism, because I'm using occultism as the general spooky stuff thing. Those
I just
are
made it.
ritual. Yeah, those are ritual runes. Your parents did stuff like that occasionally.
Okay.
They would mark out stuff like to prevent malign influences from coming in, or enhance power, or stuff that generally came when you asked about it with a story about how they learned this from their master in the middle of some terrible dig site that was full of dust and or mud and occasionally attacking Republic soldiers.
Also, this one part here seems to translate to live, laugh, love. Odd that. I am not assuming that's canon.
It's in a little cross stitch. I mean, there might be a little cross stitch on the wall.
Well, if it's Sith, it'd be...
Sith code. We don't use it much anymore.
Now it's live, laugh, hate.
No. Passion. It
Oh,
can be
yeah, you're right.
translated love. It can be translated passion. Yeah. Laugh. That some people would translate that as laugh triumphantly, or cackle. It fits. It's an older code, but it fits.
I was doing Sith linguistics last night, and this is oddly relevant.
I love that my one-off joke has somehow made itself be canon.
It's fair. It's fair.
And not even retroactive canon. It's like, oh yeah, that fits.
Yep. Live, laugh triumphantly, passion.
I'm going to set my empty bowl of soup down. I don't take it back to the
Okay,
kitchen.
it is
There's people for
spicy.
that.
For some reason, my brain was trying to autocomplete. I'm going to set my empty bowl on fire.
Please don't complete on fire.
No, I'm
flammable.
Rand. You're thinking of someone named Rotini. Or, in some cases, Monty.
Monty would definitely set it on fire instead of having to wash dishes. I mean, you could always, stick it in the dishwasher. It's right there.
Monty's upset because Monty was told that the spices would set your mouth on fire, but all it was a chemical burn.
Mm-hmm. It is within your tolerances. You have been hanging out with Sith enough, including purebloods. You've gotten used to the spicy.
Oh, the spicy's a treat, because otherwise MREs.
True.
I'm opening the door into two.
You're into the door to one.
Into one.
That is the entry hall.
I was going to say I'm opening the door labeled 2, and realized halfway through the sentence that the numbers were actually indicating rooms.
Yes, because I will not remember which room is which unless I have the numbers and I have all descriptions.
And 2 is the rune room.
This is the entry hall. Well, it's also kind of a storage for dishes and whatnot.
It's where we keep the cracked
stately
dishes.
entryway. Well, they are cracked now. That's weird. Stately entryway intended to be where the master of the household welcomes the guests with great pageantry. It is obvious to anyone entering the manor that every tiny detail has been thoughtfully chosen in this room. Mirrors, portraits in gold filigree adorn the walls to create a look of order and symmetry, and the polished wood floors gleam to a pearlescent shine. If anyone wants to make an architecture +2 or the default thereby, please feel free. A grand marble staircase winds up from here. Great doors to the south allow access to what looks like a large. There's a sliver of table and chairs showing through. There's a couple of other doors in the wall. There's the huge front door that you could open and say hello to the lizard and see if it's out there still.
Well, I can look out the window. Yep, it's still there.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's still chewing.
What's the default for architecture?
IQ minus
IQ minus 5, but then a plus 2.
5.
IQ minus 3.
I did not actually make it then.
No one has made IQ. Oh, no. And Tuxa made it, and Sen made it because of the, you added in the thing. New target made by, okay. This stuff looks like it's actually built. It's not prefab. This is not some, build a mansion kit that was hauled in. It might be imitating some other building that Darth Simon owns elsewhere. But this looks like it was made to order, not catalog, here's your rustic cottage out in the wilderness thing.
Are there
He
runes?
actually got architects into this horrible place.
Mm-hmm.
It's very quaint. So you said there's a lot of pictures and stuff on the walls, correct?
Correct.
Do their eyes follow me as I walk around the room?
They do not. Except a few of them in kind of a optical illusion way.
I was hoping that they would have at least a few that did that optical illusion. Awesome. Also, I love that they're meant to promote symmetry in a room that is not symmetrical in any way.
It's an L. It's an L. An L isn't symmetrical.
The L
All
is
of the
not
decorations
symmetrical.
are. It's blame the artist.
I will blame the artist. I love that they're trying to promote symmetry in a room that's not symmetry. It's a very Sith thing to do.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's Sith symmetry, okay? Which always has a little bit of asymmetrical stuff in it because that's how you know that it's working.
Can I search for runes?
Yes, actually. Give me a...
I'll give you
You're
a failure.
deliberately searching for... Yeah, well, it's by 3. All right, how long are you going to take searching for runes?
Until I get bored or until someone leaves this room or finds something better. It's a race.
All right. What's anyone else doing? While Ran is trying...
In here.
Ah, you've gone into what looks like a breakfast nook, or it's like it's like if you took a little breakfast restaurant in the Republic and narrowed it down to 2 tables, and there's a window that looks out on the grounds, and this is, well, at least you're looking outside.
I love how when we walk up to the window, our icon sticks halfway through, so it looks like we are sticking our head out the window.
Stick your head
Looks
out
like
the window.
there's an open door in here.
Yep, that leads into what looks like, oh, gee, this is like if you're in one of those little hotels and you're supposed to fix your food in the hotel area, and then you walk into the little nook place to eat. What are you psychometrying, Antuxa?
The floor. I want to see who's walked through here, other than us.
Hey!
I actually
Everyone
cannot make my
hold still a
character go
moment.
through these doors.
For some reason, the doors are the only thing blocking my line of sight into that next room.
Did I forget to put the walls in? I will be very annoyed with myself if I forgot to put... No, there ought to be walls. I see walls. Something
Well,
wrong
it's
with those
letting
walls?
me see through the walls.
All the
walls
walls?
might be...
No, through those walls, but actually wait through all the walls.
All right,
Is it-
give me a second here. I have a thought.
Except like
Okay.
This is the weekly or bi-weekly or twice a week moment where we try to figure something out in Foundry. Um,
It probably has to do with the kind of dark vision I was given.
That seems likely.
There are some chunks of walls that I can see through, like,
there
but not all of them.
I
are a
think.
few invisible wall things that I put in as railings. You
Yeah,
think?
there's walls that are different heights. There's walls that are they count as windows. You can see through them,
Right.
and there's walls that block your ability to go through them, but you can still see over them, like a small rock on a map in an MMO that prevents you from walking over it to go to that area the devs didn't want you to see.
Let me check a little bit of.
And looking at the rooms that Io's character has been going through, there's multiple walls set up there. There's one door, and then the other one isn't a door. It's a wall.
I think I've found the interesting part of. Yeah. Give me half a moment to.
I have no idea how I
Select a whole
got
bunch.
through into room 11 because I had to go through a wall to get there. Oop. I
I
closed
don't know
all
how
the
you
doors.
did that either.
I did not intend to
Closed
close all the doors,
Whoops.
but I did close all the doors.
Well-
Did you just lock me in here?
Shouldn't have.
Can you open the door again?
Yes.
Okay.
I am amused by the idea of you closing the doors behind me.
This feels almost Sith-like to just sort of close all the doors around things. It's like, yes, I will close the door behind my fellow apprentice. Ha.
Well,
So, Entux is psychometrying things.
Yep. Give me half a moment to make all of the doors do the correct visibility. Come on. Double click. That's right. I think that will do it. Does anyone mind if I refresh the fog of war? Do you care?
do what you want.
I think if you do that, we'll lose the sight of the outside.
That's true. All right. Just pretend that you don't see through the walls. Okay. I think Ran got bored. Okay, that will do. Actually, I don't mind this. This is fine. I see how it looks there, and okay, sure, that's fine. I'll just have to fix all the other walls before you actually mess with them. Where was I? Oh, right. Psychometry on the floor. Ran got bored before finding any symbols. There were some things that might have been symbols, but then you caught Sen going places and you went following them.
Yes.
The floor. The floor has had many people walking on it. Impressions of people who are just, people. Impressions of people who left a stronger mark because they were more present in the Force. There's like 3 or 4 of those, maybe. But there are 2 that are very strong that way. That these were Force users, you're sure of it, and relatively potent ones. One of them much more potent than the other.
Okay.
And apparently they played a game of
There's
space
been-
billiards.
There's been blood. There's been death. There's been the slippery, crawly feeling of those lizard fish things outside. There's been something else, Force twisted, maybe? Hard to tell. Those are the impressions you're getting. I will open a few of the doors I want to be open. Okay.
So it looks like someone was a bad
So I have a
winner or a bad
question.
loser. Hmm?
Dang it, I was about to. You stole my question. My question was, so, is there actually this much blood in here?
You don't see any blood.
Okay.
Where? Where you are? Have you've wandered in and ignoring Entux being
Yeah.
behind you? Okay. The room that you are currently in. Scroll, darn you, scroll. It looks like it's a gaming parlor. It's got card games. It's got a 4-legged, double-sized Jarek table, but It's tilting and missing a leg, and its surface is, in fact, spattered in blood.
Someone didn't let
Oh,
the Wookiee win.
wonderful.
Someone apparently did not let the Wookiee win.
And Tuxa, do you want to come put your brain on more things?
What an extraordinary way to describe what I do. Yes, I'll be there in a moment.
All right.
I get to touch all the fun stuff.
Well, I could touch it too if you want.
You two have fun.
You get, and Tuxa. Senoway, you get a headache. Oh, actually, yeah, this will be entertaining. Rand, you're getting bored with looking at... Okay, actually, Rand, what you find is...
No, deal with them first. Deal with my failure later. I'm okay with the delay.
All right.
Deal with
Sen.
Tuxa first.
Okay, Antuxa first. Well, Sen is easy. Sen, you get an impression of shouting and screaming and death and horrible headache.
I'm not
you're
psychometrying.
searching?
I didn't roll
Oh,
psychometry.
Okay. Antuxa, you get... There's shouting. There's people angry. There's people drunk and angry and mob. There's a mob violence, and you get flashes of someone who is being shoved by everyone, and there's knives. There's knives stabbing and stabbing. Obviously, there's blood here, and anger and frustration and bodies slumping to the floor and moving still and being dragged away. Give me a fright check at +5, Antuxa. You are fine with this, but there's something disquieting about how many times they were stabbing this person who bled here without them dying. You get a faint chill up your spine at this. There's something unnatural about that, it feels like.
Perhaps it was surgery. Stab, stab. Are you better now?
Uh-huh. Sen, you tripped over... There's a lot of playing cards lying on the floor here. They look like Pazak.
There was also a Twi'lek lying on the floor here.
Splat. Oh, hey, there's cards under the table here. Oh, wow, is this more blood? Ran! Oh, look, there's this isn't actually a fireplace in the wall between those two doors there that go out to the east. That's not a fireplace. That's a hologram with a space heater. Why are these people like this?
For the aesthetic,
You hear someone coming... Obviously. Someone is coming down the stairs going, hello? Is someone in? Wilmus, is that you? You hear this
from... Get off the floor before I embarrass myself. I already embarrassed myself, but I'm ignoring that.
You have a bloody card
like
stuck to the upper part of your back, right? Right? No, the other side.
Adds character.
But, suit yourself. Do you want to know what suit it's in?
Gems, war swords, blood, or lightning? Those are the suits.
Suit yourself. So the question is...
Unusual for Pazak cards to have suits. It's not unheard of, but it happens. It's a little odd.
So the question is, do we...
I'm going to lean against this bloody table.
You hear someone coming down the stairs that were in that entry hall, basically. Have you actually closed that door between...
I closed the doors, yes.
Game... Okay.
I was closing them while you were describing things.
Oh, okay. Well, the door is closed, but you hear someone coming down the stairs, tromp, tromp, tromp. Calling out, hello? Wilmus?
You keep searching. I'll deal with this.
Wilmus?
Yes, I'll keep searching for the... Oh, I found the blood that everyone else found.
I don't think I'm finding anything in here.
I'm going to walk over to the door and press my ear up against it. I'm going to listen
at the door. Oh, wow, we both did the same thing.
Yes.
You're Scooby-Dooing it.
Yes. I'm assuming I leaned over to listen, and then a Twi'lek is now perched on my back, also listening at the same spot.
I was already at the door when you said that.
Okay, we're side by side, because I'm not crawling on your back that's covered in blood.
Thank you.
Yeah, leave it. I'll deal with it. Token. Token should display name when hovered. Update token. There. There's a fellow on the stairs who looks like his hair has been growing out from a military buzz cut, because you people see military cuts all the time. This is the kind of thing where someone is letting their hair grow out and they have not actually seen a hairstylist for some time. He's wearing... Okay, the Empire is extremely military. There are basically civilian uniforms when people are off duty. He is wearing a civilian uniform. It does not have any rank markings on it. It is cut in the civilian way, but it's clearly someone who is used to being in a military thing. He stares at Antuxa from his spot on the stairs. There's double staring here. This is, what is it, a homonym? And goes, "Excuse me, who are you?"
I have to check something real quick.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Antuxa. I am an apprentice in service of Darth Chardanak. And I'm here because Ayanna McCod has gone missing, and this is the last place anybody knows that she was. Commander, I presume?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Commander Damas, I presume?
Yes, you're quite accurate. Yana's fine. She's fine.
I apologize for letting myself in. There is a creature by your front door.
Oh.
And I had to enter via the servant's entrance.
Yes, they do come around frequently. It's a bit of a problem. Sometimes we can shoot them, but more keep showing up.
Yes, swamp planets do present something of a hazard, don't they? On the other hand, They are an excellent way to be alone. May I see Miss McCall?
Yes, of course, I'll call her up. Yana, can you... There's someone here to talk to you. Did you bring a shuttle?
Yes, and there was one on the pad as well.
Yes, the one on the pad doesn't have the navigation
The
system.
navigation system, yes, we noticed.
Right. Does yours?
I
Yours
did when I left.
I do note, however, that your shuttle is not actually hyperspace capable.
Yes,
Just
that's true, but I'm not going to say that.
True. Just making sure. How many people can your shuttle fit? Asks Commander Damas.
It's a dispatch shuttle from a military ship, so a squadron.
If they're in very close friends. Dispatch. It's not capable of getting to hyperspace, is it?
Well, I can't say as how I've tried.
Right. We're probably, this happens, I suppose. On the stairs behind come a couple of other people who I will place them on the map. No, don't click on top of each other, you people. One looks like the image that you got of Iana. And one, let me do a quick little skim. Is this person even... Yeah, you had little images of people when you were looking at them. Scroll. Right. And this person is not on any of the little holo images in the details. A male fellow, has a mustache, no beard, very dark reddish-brown hair. Then there's Iana, who does, in fact, look like, yep, that looks like her, all right. Like, oh, my. Hello. A pleasure to meet someone new here. We get so few visitors these days. May I ask your name?
My name is Antuxa. I'm an apprentice in the service of Darth Chardanak.
Darth Chardanak. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not remembering that name very well. Were they at some party or something?
We, to my chagrin, are not one of the more glamorous branches of the Sith Empire, but we do a required job. Miss McCod, are you quite all right?
Yes, there have been a few problems lately, but I'm quite healthy, really.
Oh, what sort of problems? Perhaps I can help.
Oh, what sort of problems? Well, the comm is broken,
Yes, we did notice that.
and Darth Simont has wandered off somewhere and is not. He apparently shut off the deliveries or something, perhaps, before the comm broke.
Hmm.
We've been having to dig out all of these horrible cans and meals, eating readily, whatever those things are. It's been really a bit of privation. I do hope you've come with a ship that we can leave. Although I do want to get my necklace back.
Your necklace.
Yes, I don't want to talk about it in front of everyone. Rapsa and Chell here have heard it so many times.
Rapsa, I'm sorry, I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
The other fellow lifts a hand in a sort of wave. Yes, I was invited after we brought some of the deliveries.
I see.
It's
And-
a long story, which also everyone's heard.
You three are the only people in the house.
No, we've got let's see. There's Madame O'Neill. She's around, and of course there's the servants, and well, there's the droid.
The droid, would that be 43AGO?
Yes, that would be her. She's been a little bit actually it's AGD, but close enough. Yes, she's suffered a few accidents, and we've been trying to put her back together. I don't suppose you brought a droid mechanic.
The tragic life of the service droid. I'm afraid not.
We opened the door.
Oh dear.
I could take a look at the droid.
Oh, you startled me. I'm so glad you're
My associate, Senoni.
Right, those are robes, yes. Aren't they?
We are allowed to wear clothes sometimes.
Yes, of course. My grave apologies. It's been quite a long time. Oh, hello there. Yes. As people move into the
And
room.
my other associate, Rondog.
I wave.
Oh, are there any others?
Just the creature outside the front door, who is not associated with us.
I'm so glad to hear that. The creature outside is quite a problem.
Who did hang that placard around its neck?
Probably Madame O'Neill. She seems to think they're cute. I don't know how she got to stand still. I really don't.
So there's a droid that I should be looking at.
Yes, she's upstairs. You're here now. You're here, aren't you? Chell, they'll need to have a place to stay. Unless you brought a shuttle. Did you bring a shuttle or a ship? Did you bring a ship? We could all go now. Chell, I don't think they have a hyperspace-capable shuttle.
Yet.
Oh, coming?
Yes, in a short while. They were responding to a distress beacon.
Oh, yes, those things do go off occasionally, don't they? It's probably just pirates or something. They'll shoot the pirates, they'll come back for us.
Yes, that is the current plan, or pick up somebody if it's not pirates. That sometimes is a possibility. Occasionally. Depends on the right forms.
Yes, I suppose it's true.
My forms comment is specifically because I'm very much aware that privateering is totally legal and is endorsed. So
Only if it's privateer for the Empire. Privateers for the Republic are
Well,
not
yes.
allowed.
Well, if they say they're privateers for the Republic, then they're pirates. They have not filled out the proper paperwork.
Right. Exactly.
They could be privateers. All they had to do was arrive at the central office and fill out the various forms in triplicate. But they didn't do that. Or they did it at the wrong office. And that's a them problem. Anyway, let's move the plot forward.
Nevertheless. Well, excellent. Oh, you're here. Oh. Well. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. I'm sure it's what Darth Simont would have wanted. And if he were here, which he hasn't been for some days and days, and I lose track of time. It's just been a terrible situation. Please, you're going to have to be here for a day or two, aren't you?
Well, we might.
Well,
But, dear Lady Iana, would you be willing to show me to that droid? Let's at least see if I can get that thing working.
of course, it's just up the stairs here in the storeroom. Are other people heading up the stairs?
I am looking over my character sheet to see if I have any helpful skills whatsoever in regards to droid repair. I can operate electronics and hack things. So, probably not.
Probably not. While people are going upstairs, and I'm going to just sort of have that sit there for a moment. This up for me.
I will note it for out of character purposes. I do not have any kind of droid repair skill on my sheet, but I have the mechanical aptitude power and
a great willpower to do things. Let me just do a few selections here. The fellow comes over who does not look like anyone that is on the list.
Yeah. Would you write his name out, please? I wasn't sure I got it right.
Rapsa, Rapsadepar. If you mouse over his token, it ought to show his actual name now. If it doesn't, then I will be cranky.
It does.
Yay! I made it work. Just want to select every single wall in this location and make sure. What?
Oh,
I'm just trying.
you're experiencing what I have experienced in Foundry. I'm not laughing because this is a hardship for you. I'm laughing because I have been there.
You have been there and you have done this.
I did that for the flag headquarters map, which is very large and has a lot of walls. And apparently was so large that even when I shrunk it down to 1/10 the size, it was still too large for your computer to load it.
Which is really weird because you'd think it would manage, but no.
Oh well.
And now I'm going to take every single freaking little wall, and you will probably be sensible and erase my complaints from the select everything, site restriction, normal, update wall. Okay, there.
Why would I erase your
update
complaints?
second
They're
floor.
good content. We need to have a section in every episode entitled "Figuring Something Out in Foundry."
This is so that this is educational. Other people will not make the same mistakes that I have made.
Oh no, they still will. But when they do, they'll go, "Oh, so that's what they were complaining about."
Okay, that's fair. Anyway, Rapsa, I'm going to, while we're splitting the party, Rapsa comes over and says, "Hello, Rapsa Depar. Glad to meet you all.
Indeed, a pleasure.
I wave again.
He offers a hand.
Then I shake it.
Right. Things have not been nearly, yes, he shakes hands. Things have not been nearly so entertaining as they were when I first came here for a while, but if there's anything that we can do, I'm sure that, well, the servants are certainly likely to show up some point. We can call someone to take your luggage. Do you have any luggage?
Hmm.
We travel light.
Well, most of mine is back on the ship.
Ah, the shuttle, you mean, or the ship?
Yes, the shuttle.
Ah, good, good. Well, we can go get it, although it's raining right now, so,
Tell me, what is your role in the household?
well, I've been trying to do a bit of hunting of the various wildlife to supplement our food periodically, and I mean, I was here to fill out the card table matches, games, association, chat with people. It was a party. The
Ah,
Darth liked to have people around to make the parties more interesting. Tell stories. Was on a supply ship, have lots of stories to tell.
I couldn't help but notice that many of your cards are now, shall we say, no longer tournament legal due to blood staining on both sides of them.
Yes, they certainly are. There was um bit of a nosebleed. Someone had a terrible nosebleed. There's a bit of a brawl. Well, a brawl is probably putting it, making much of it. People were drunk, tempers were high. There was an accusation of cheating. Someone got their nose broken. And what are you rolling there?
Detect lies.
Oh, let me just see if, well, let me just make a roll then.
I have a chance of succeeding. I'm not rolling against the door this time. That door was too powerful.
Come on, make this roll? No, I only want one roll. I only want the first roll. Okay, I'll take that 9. You can't quite tell if he's lying. He rolled very well on a default acting roll. That's what he doesn't seem to be lying. He does seem a bit like the slick kind of character who you're not sure you trust what he says, even when he seems sincere. Actually, you're a Sith.
I'm still...
You can make a vibes roll.
I'm still taken aback. Please let me make a vibes roll. Because he went from there was a nosebleed to there was a brawl.
Well, someone's nose got broken, and then, of course, their nose bled.
Mm-hmm.
QED.
Yeah, but if you lead with there was a nosebleed and then backtrack to say it was because of a brawl, you are slowly deciding, well, what information can I give the person who could cut me in half? And where is this vibe thing? It's not... I know vibe is the second word, and it's alphabetical.
Roll IQ, and make it by 3. It's an IQ minus 3.
Isn't it?
Yeah, okay, perception. If your perception is better.
My perception is equal.
3, and that's definitely okay. In that case, you made it. You have a vibes check. This is a fellow who would, in fact, be perfectly happy not to give the whole truth if he thought that the whole truth would not be safe for him somehow.
So he's a Sith. Okay, we get it.
Not a coward. No, he's not a Sith. He's not a Sith. He's a human. I mean, he's also not force active as near as you can tell.
Let me rephrase. He's not a Sith, but he is a citizen of the Sith Empire. So this is normal.
Maybe. He might be. He's not wearing the uniform, this fellow isn't. He's not wearing a civilian uniform. He's wearing more,
He is someone who's still
clothes.
breathing within our space. Therefore, he is somewhat related to the Sith Empire.
However, you do get on a vibes check, he's nervous about something. It might be you. It might be what he's talking about.
It might be that I and Anne are flanking him.
Front door. Yeah, he did walk up to you, so that's his problem. Yes, and Tuxa, you are also making your roll. You get basically the same thing.
And I'm getting this. I'm trying to get the same information.
You were getting the same information. He's not necessarily a habitual liar, but if he thinks that it's safer to lie, he totally will. And he's nervous.
Ron, may I speak to Mr. DePar alone?
Oh, certainly. I'll just go and see what's going on with the droid repair, shall I?
Here, I'll take you up after them, says Commander Damas. All right, we're now going to have lots of people up there. Do we want to handle things up on top, or shall we? Says they're
I just want to get. I just
Okay.
want to get one line out before I
Get your line out.
move upstairs.
Go in, Tuxa.
And this is
Mind tricks.
one specific thing that I want to get out.
Okay.
That I want to use the mind tricks on.
Okay. Let me just double check a will roll here. That would be a failure.
Mr. DePar, we know about the murders, and frankly, we don't care. And that's the mind tricks line. We're here because Darth Simon owes back taxes. If people are dead, we can collect from their estates.
Only if you can get out as well without the demon eating your souls or something, he mutters.
Now, that is good information to have. Thank you.
It's been months.
And with that, I'm going to step away and let the other players have a turn.
All right. I am going to see if I made the second floor. Let's.
Also, it sounds like the recording's an hour long at this point.
Oh, we should take a break, shouldn't we?
We can take a short break. And while we take the break, you can make sure the map
Take
works.
a short break. That is exactly what I have been planning to do.
All right, pausing it now. We are back.
Okay, and I loaded the second floor, and you're not seeing through the walls.
Well, I can see through this wall here, but it's more of a railing. And watch that first step. It's a doozy.
It's a doozy. There's
the dining
another
room.
railing on the long end over there that has some curtains on it that are not shown, so you can see across into the other thing. It has a wall in the map, but I'm not going to do a map. I'm going to do curtains. So there. You're on a little hallway at the top of the stairs. Let me just scroll. Upper floor, yes. Upstairs landing. There's a little wooden board at the top behind those two chairs there that has a flimsy tacked onto it, which is the Star Wars term for basically a piece of paper. They're called flimsies with an I. They're probably made of plastic.
Even in this dark end of the universe, we can't get away from microplastics.
Indeed. Probably clean them up a bit better, though.
No, this is the Sith Empire. It builds character.
Well, it probably gets cleaned up for other use.
All right, so I'm coming up the stairs, and it's been a short while, so I imagine that Sen went on ahead because droid to repair. And hello, which direction am I walking in?
Okay. The direction that is being walked in, let me get the correct thing here.
I'm too important to be left alone.
Iana has gone off around the corner here, north. Honestly, Chell will lead you here as well. And I will just grab them both, and I don't know, I don't want to get you too lost. You can use yours as well if you want to move places.
Let me look.
You aren't seeing through the walls, right?
I am not seeing through the walls, but I also am not seeing the person I'm supposed to follow.
Follow me, I know the way.
Okay.
Well, until here.
Sorry.
Now I don't know the way anymore.
That's all right. You can probably see down the hallway. It's a relatively narrow hallway, but you can go. We figure you can fit two people in hex. Okay, you're in that.
I'm not closing the door.
You're not closing the door. This is basically a storage room. Clearly, there's cabinets and shelves and a barrel of what is even in that barrel. There's lamps here. Those lamps look like oil lamps. What the criff? Someone's had a fire in this room, apparently. One of the crates in the back is charred. and there's a little nook in one side that is basically a recharging cabinet for a humanoid droid. And there sure is a humanoid droid in there.
This place seems distressingly flammable.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. I'm sure nothing would ever burn up. I'm sure it's to safety specs. Darth Simon would not want his place burning up.
Zanoni
Says
points to the thing that was clearly on fire.
Oh, yes, well, that's not the whole place. I mean, the rest of the place hasn't burned up. That's just some burned box or other. I don't know. It might have gotten burnt when we were trying one of those funny rituals that Darth Simon liked.
Well, that makes sense.
I continue to know.
Zanoni... Huh?
I continue to note that the entire place that had all. You went down hallways. The hallways had a lot of closed doors. The lighting is in fake candle sconces everywhere, but it's not like really dim at the moment. Obviously, someone was really committed to this retro look.
And this one is
Primitive.
flammable, and this one is flammable, and this one is flammable. Are we in a tinderbox?
Refresh your serendipity score. Oh, darn, you don't have it. Oh, well. I should probably... Okay.
Oh no, you have
Send.
let me know that this whole place can be burned to the ground. That is plenty of serendipity for me. I'm just going to take that bit of
The
information and
bones
put it
of
in my
it.
tool belt.
The bones of it may not be as flammable as the floors and the ceilings and maybe the walls. It's entirely possible that if you scratch deep enough onto these walls, you will get to Duracrete or steel or something.
That's fine. That's fine. But my lightsaber will only do what is this? 4 dice burn damage per turn. A building will do
5 points of
more.
DR, yes. Yeah, that's true.
So if
Buildings do a lot of
necessary,
damage.
I use the light sword, stick it in a wall, and run. Not letting go of the lightsaber, just running and treating the walls like I'm a 5-year-old with a crayon.
I mean,
If the
you
crayon
cut through
spread,
enough load-bearing walls, it doesn't matter if it turns into fire or not.
That's just my plan for. Oh, so the way to win is to burn it all to the ground? Right, way ahead of you. I'm not saying I'm doing this. I'm saying it is a thought that I'm putting in my tool belt for the most opportune moment. Might not
Fair
use that
enough.
tool, but I'm prepared to.
Okay. Zen,
Yes?
there's a droid here. What were you planning to do with the droid?
Well, I have a power that lets me tap into mechanical systems with the Force.
Uh-huh.
And sure, people want me to repair this droid. But what I want to do is see if I can, is there any way that I can use this to try to read memories from the droid brain?
Let me look at what that skill is just out of sheer pondering this. If
What's the
you
droid's
roll
name again?
really, really well, this is mechanical aptitude, the force talent, not an advantage. Well, force skill.
I can spend fatigue to boost skill, right?
You can indeed. 1-to-1. Let me get the droid's name for Krishna. Scroll. Okay. How much fatigue are you planning it to boost by?
I spent 3.
Okay, and made it by 3. All right. You're basically trying to do a mind probe on a droid. Oh, thank you. Yes, good. There's an icon. Duh.
Or failing that, get the droid brain working?
The droid is. This droid has been put back together by people who know how to put things back together because they maybe found most of the manual and possibly a YouTube hole of it. It looks like it's had its limbs detached and rewired a few times. It has assorted dents. Maybe someone has electrocuted it with force lightning? Maybe with regular lightning? What was it being used as a lightning rod? There's a droid brain there. You you think you can wake up the droid brain? Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Rebooting. 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 Master. Servant.
Hello.
Identification unknown. Designation. Designation.
I'm Sononi. I'm an apprentice from logistics.
Oh,
Who's
my lord.
zapping you?
Oh. Oh. The Count. The Count. The Count. Zap. Sometimes zap. Sometimes nothing. Zap. Happens. Happens.
The Count.
The Count.
Who is the Count?
My lord Count Murgad. Iana leans in. Yes, Count Murgad is here too. I mean, he's not. I don't know where he is right now, but he's around. She's not coming in. She just leaned around the door. The droid. Yes, Count Murgad.
Tell me about Count Murgad.
Count Murgad is the master now.
Really, what happened to Darth Simont?
Known.
Why is Count Murgad the master now?
Designation the master now.
How long has Simont been gone?
Clock damaged. Unknown. Minimum 3 weeks? Minimum.
All right.
I look over at the two humans that are here who may also have damaged clocks, but that's the nature of human biology. So, did both the Darth and the Count disappear around the same time, or did one hang out for a bit longer before they stopped being here to just being around?
Oh, the Count is around. Darth Simont hasn't been seen for. Well, yes, I suppose it is a few weeks now at least. The Count comes and goes.
And when was the last time the Count was here?
Oh, a couple days ago, maybe?
Ah. Well, as we are mere apprentices, and is the Count a ranking in the Sith Empire, I should ask?
No, not really. I mean, kind of. The Empire has
Okay.
absorbed some planets in semi-voluntarily, or perhaps actually voluntarily, that had ranks, like
Some
Count.
type of feudal system or whatever. All right, so
Right, they have had feudal systems, or they have elect their counts, or that kind of thing. From your
Count
point of
Dooku's
view,
existence has screwed me up.
yeah, well, Count Dooku's existence is because he's a count on his own planet, not because he's a Sith. It's basically like that. You might have Sith who also hold a planetary title, but the Empire basically has military ranks, courtesy military ranks for the people who mustered out quickly and went into business. And then there are the Sith ranks, which go Acolyte, Apprentice, Lord, Darth, and Dark Counselor. Dark Counselor is part of running the government. There's like 12 of them. Darth is the next layer down, then there's Lord, and then there's Apprentices. That's you people. You are basically all status 1 according to pretty much anything else. You get away with murder a lot of the time if you really want to, but there's paperwork, and the paperwork sucks. The higher ranking militarily someone is, the more likely you will get into political hot water.
Ah.
But you would probably consider yourself to be at least equal to or superior to any old random count, unless they're also a force user. But someone with a count title, it might be a political bad idea to kill them So you'd rather not, usually. You know, if you meet
Sounds like he is a Force user, though, since he's been zapping this droid.
a. That would be the assumption.
Well, there's other ways to
Or else
cause
a mad
electrical
scientist,
damage.
and yeah, I mean, he might be a mad scientist with some kind of electrical gun, but or he might be a Force user who prefers to be called Count instead of Lord or Darth, or Acolyte, or something. So now you've had a brief explainer on the Imperial status system.
43 AGD. Are you able to walk around? Are you mobile?
Checking, error checking, error checking. Possibly?
Well, I
Error
know a
checking.
simple way to find out. Please try to stand.
Looks down. Probably is standing. Appear to be standing already, sir.
Wonderful.
lord?
Try taking a step forward. In this direction. Please do not step on my associate.
The droid will take a step. Whoops, that's the wrong people selected.
And
Droid.
2 humans jump over the ledge to fall into the dining room below.
Oh, I have the wrong thing. They're a little better than that. The railing there is high enough that you would not fall over unless you were actively vaulting the thing or someone was knocking you over or, that sort of thing.
And the funny thing is they moved 1 square to the right, and that was putting them fully over the railing. That was a vault.
Yes, but we are going to...
But also wasn't real. It wasn't canon. It was just wrong thing selected.
Indeed.
But I still thought it was very funny. Like people flying through bulkheads in the main campaign.
Whee!
So, yes.
The
So
droid appears to be able to
43 AGD.
walk, but she is not... She can take a step. She wobbles.
This is a Grandpa Joe getting out of the bed at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory scene.
Yeah, probably. Wobble, wobble. I should not carry anything, sirs. Camera indicates wobble. Error
Yes,
check,
I hope
error
you will
check,
sober up
error
soon.
checking.
It does take me a while.
I do not drink, my lord.
It was a joke.
Yes, my lord. Ha, 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 ha.
I think the lack of reaction was better to my ego than the simulated laughter.
My apologies, my lord.
That was me saying it out of character. My character says nothing.
Okay.
But their internal monologue, inside, they are shriveling up and wanting to die. All of their years as a Sith apprentice did not steel them for this sick burn.
Perhaps the droid has no sense of humor
Many of them
and
are
is
not programmed to
incapable of knowing
understand
when
that.
to laugh. That's right.
Right, let's see if we can get you out of these cramped quarters. I'm going to try to assist 43 AGD down the hallway.
Humans will scamper down the hallway ahead of you.
And while I am doing this, I'm going to ask 43 AGD. So, 43 AGD, may I call you Aggie?
Many people do, my lord.
Ah, wonderful. Oh, when you are not being disassembled, what is your primary role here? And I'm saying this as we are going down the hall.
Okay, you're heading down the hall. Oh, I clean up, sir. My lord.
Ah, and who cleans up when you are non-functional?
Perhaps Furman or Sedgwick?
Fascinating. When you clean up, what?
Sekja.
When you're cleaning
Yes,
up,
my lord?
there's, having been on a few military vessels, there's multiple definitions of the word cleaning up. Please go into more detail. What methods of cleaning up do you normally do here?
I mop the floors. I clean the dishes. I pick up the dishes. I put the dishes in the water.
Ah, and
Unless no one is looking, and then I can put them in the sonic dishwasher.
Useful information. And what about, we saw a bunch of dishes that were in display cases. Do those get cleaned often?
They are cleaned when they are dirty.
Do they get dirty often?
The display dishes, my lord?
Yes.
The display dishes are for display. If the guests use them, then they will be cleaned carefully and put back on display.
Understood. And I couldn't help but notice. Now, I assume that a lot of the mopping has to do with the large amounts of mud that find their way in here, uh, in spite
Yes,
of
my
people
lord.
trying
It
to
is a
make sure it
mud
doesn't.
planet.
Oh, yes, certainly. But I couldn't help but notice a large amount of blood in some rooms as well. Do you have to clean
Oh,
that
I
up
am
frequently?
sorry, my lord. I will get on that. I. Blood, blood, blood. Blood? Is there blood, my lord? Do I need to clean up the blood?
There is some blood, but you are very wobbly right now, and perhaps we will need to do a few more repairs before you are fully operational and can return to your duties. Right now, I think.
Yes, my lord. I need directions.
Right now, I think you will be most useful in providing information to myself and my associates.
Lord.
And I'm going to continue assisting Aggie downstairs to introduce Aggie to
Oh.
Anne.
I see. All right. Is there anything else Sen wants to be doing while the wobbly droid is assisted downstairs?
I will follow the wobbly droid.
Okay. You were trailed by the other two human people. Why don't I just put everybody downstairs and swap back to the appropriate map there? And let us... Can you add that droid back on?
Yes and no.
What do I... Well,
I can
all
add the
need is
droid
an
icon, but it's got the wrong name. I'll fix that.
Okay, I'll let you fix
Because
that.
it's just CSD4's icon.
I know. It works, though. It works perfectly.
It was that or JR.
I think that CSD4 works more droidily, being, after all, a droid. And Tuxa. Everyone comes traipsing back down with Ran in assisting a somewhat decrepit droid. Ah, they got Aggie awake, says Rapsa.
Yes. And Tuxa. This is Aggie. Aggie, this is my associate, and Tuxa.
Oh, my lord.
Aggie was telling
Good
us.
to see you up and about.
Aggie was telling us a fascinating story about the Count and their hobbies.
His hobbies.
Really?
The Count's pronouns are he, him.
Well, I would be delighted to hear about these hobbies.
He likes gambling. He likes to play cards. He likes good food. He likes to play the holo game. Memory file lost. But cards and dice. No one will play dice with him except Darth Simont. I think their dice game is seeing which one can make the dice do what they want.
Hmm.
And drinking and dancing and talking and cards. Those are his hobbies.
And lightning damage.
Oh, that hobby is
I was using
droids a hobby?
I was using a loose definition of the word, but for some, alas, yes.
Oh,
I think it might be a hobby.
I don't know. Things happen. I am pushed down the stairs. Nothing is there. There is lightning. Nothing is there. There is lightning. The Count was angry. Is that what you want to know, my lords? I should try to clean up. Oh no, is there mud? The droid is scanning.
Actually, kindly do not clean up for the moment.
My lord? But the mud.
Having
the mud.
having the evidence may help us figure out where the Count and the Darth are.
The
Is
Count was
the
here
Count
maybe a
not
couple
in
days
his-
ago.
In his room? Yana says, yes, he often comes out of his room sometimes after a couple days. Chell nods. Chell Damas. Commander Damas.
I have reason to believe that he's in his room now.
He comes out of his room, my lord.
Yes, but did you see him go into his room?
No, my lord. All the humans are basically shrugging and or looking nervous at you. Commander Damas says, well, would you like to have a room of your own while you're staying here for, well, until your ship gets back anyway? Can't make you go walking out through the mud and drizzle to get back to your shuttle and stay there.
We've walked through worse. on more occasions than I wish to
Drummondcast.
share. Let's worry about quarters if it becomes clear that we are not leaving anytime soon. For now, Aggie, let's see if we can get you to a chair. I'm dreadfully fearful that you're going to fall over and cause additional damage to yourself, and no one wants that. Well, maybe the Count does, but I'm sure the Count would prefer to do it on his own.
I have to tell people how to put my legs back on again.
Yes, you do seem to be 2 left feet.
Yes. It was the
Wait,
dent.
no, the left foot and the right foot are reversed. Ah, yes, that makes more sense.
A dent. There was a bad dent. There's probably some chairs that are around the edges of the room that are not actually shown on the map.
Okay. Barring that, I was going to have Aggie sit down in room 2, but we can have Aggie in room 1. That's fine.
Whichever one you want.
We can have Aggie sit in room
Put
1.
Aggie next to the wall. Room 1? Okay.
I love how the grid that is pre-printed on the map doesn't line up with the grid that exists for Foundry VTT. Because it is a pain to get them to line up properly, I assure you. As you have discovered.
I will not snap tokens to grid. Oh, but they snapped grid anyway. Curses! I turned off snap tokens to grid, and what happens? They snapped grid.
Well, hold on a second. I think
Anyway.
I might have a solution because I'm going to be nitpicky about this. Can I do this? That almost worked.
That's enough.
There we
That
go.
works. That's fine.
I had to manually
Whatever
edit
you
the
did,
X
it
and Y coordinates, but I did it. That's useful for no one but us.
Commander Damas. Well, if you're staying, you'll probably have to stay for dinner, so we'll just have to call for the servants to make sure to set an extra place at the table.
Yes, where are the servants?
I don't know where Furman's gotten off to. It's been a few days. There's Sekcha. He should be around somewhere. He probably might be setting the table for all I know. Maybe he's getting something out of the cellar to try to cook it.
Ah,
So, when we hear back from the carrier that brought us here, we may be interested in leaving on short notice. It might be a good idea for us to have a sit down and make an accounting of where everyone is. Don't want to leave anyone behind.
All right.
For example, my cat seems to have jumped up right on top of my desk and in front of my monitor.
That's right. I've got mine on my knee here. Flicker, lie down.
Oh, my knee was
right.
used as a
Good
step
girl.
stool to get to here.
Yes, well, I'm in the seat here, so Flicker just, gets half on the chair arm and half on my leg, and yes, that's right. All the way in the way. Yes, that's right. Aren't you just a plush, malevolent void? Aren't you just a plush, malevolent void? Who's the precious, malevolent little void? Yes, you is.
He is cat.
She is cat.
Okay, because you said boy, so that threw me off.
Void. VOID.
Oh, void.
As
Okay.
in what you gaze into. Void.
I will not scream into the cat. The cat will scream back at me.
She'll go, "Ew."
Like I said.
Yes.
All right. So, does anyone look like they're willing to sit down with me and have an accounting of where everyone is and how many people are actually here?
So actually looks like he's willing. Commander Damas looks like he could be dragged into it. Iana looks like she'd like to sit down and have some kind of chat, maybe. She's sort of batting her eyes around at the human and the pureblood. She's kind of baffled by the Twi'lek. She's an Imperial. They have terrible biases.
Right. Well, I'm getting out my
Lost.
data pad and making a list. And I shall check
Krebs
it
is
twice.
following. And Chell knows better than to disobey Sith, so there's that. Yes, Iana's probably her loss not flirting with the Twi'lek, but Imperials can be extremely bigoted. It's what comes with being part of a terrible Sith empire, and,
Well,
Conquest.
Iana does not have the correct forms for flirting with me, so I'm not interested. She probably doesn't
Does
even.
this not mean that she isn't going?
She probably doesn't even know how to fill out a PS74.
Indeed, she does not appear to have had skill at all. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
It's a basic form that first-year apprentices figure out.
Only in logistics.
Well, yes, because summary execution doesn't require a lot of forms in the other spheres. Primitives.
Actually does. Oh, it does. They do have to fill out the same forms eventually, but they usually wind up having logistics apprentices chasing after them and saying, "All right, I will ask the question, and you will tell me the answer, and I will write down the answer on the form in the correct way."
Reason for death? Annoyed you. Okay, so that is
in
on the
fact
on the list of pre-printed options. That's B187. Okay, I can copy paste that over. Moving on.
I've headed into room 8.
Yes. Okay, room 8. Room 8 is, in fact, a great big dining room, as the image shows. Let me just scroll up, see if there are any details. It's the dining hall. It's a 2-story dining hall. It is lit by a spindly, polished brass chandelier in the center. It's got... This looks like fancy dinnerware. It's set there. There's a railing. There are dark red and black imperial curtains at the edges of the railing. You saw what the second floor looked like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can sort of see up into the, there's obviously like halls or rooms or something up there on the second floor that overlook the dining room. The chairs are nicely upholstered, plush velvet. The paintings on the walls do not follow you with their eyes except as an optical illusion. Once again, there are no holos. It looks fancy. It looks like it's ready for dinner at any time. Is anyone following people in?
Do I get my list?
That seems like where we're going.
I don't know. It's where Antuxa went.
All right. Well, I guess I'll follow.
I will also follow.
Okay.
This seems like it's the closest we're going to get to a drawing room.
But there's no easels any. Oh, never mind.
Out of one of the rooms is a fellow who is dressed like a servant. Display name. Hovered by anyone. Update token. There. Oh, my lord Sima. Oh no, you're not him. You're not him. Sorry. My lords, I didn't expect any visitors. I was just dusting in the the office there. I'll go and make sure that everything is set for dinner immediately.
You're Mr. Dareg.
Sekja.
Oh, Sekja. I apologize.
I'm not sure where Furman is.
I see.
He hasn't been to the servants' quarters for a few days now. Bit worried about him, but yes, I'm. Is there anything that I can do for you, my lords, or shall I immediately set dinner? You must be hungry after your long trip.
Would you please go through the house and make sure that everybody comes in here?
Yes, my lord. Of course, my lord. He is going to go and dash out the door. Oh, my lords, more probably. Unless Sen has followed people down. You could hear him talking to people who did not quite go in, and he is going to go run up the stairs.
Oh, bonus lords.
Yes, he found bonus lords, unless Sen actually had come in there. Oh, if I click on Sen again. Oops.
Yeah, I'm coming in.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be standing. I can't seem to move myself around very well, and I can't see where anyone else is.
They're in the south room there.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm coming in.
Okay. If I click on you, can actually see how that works. Oh, okay. In fact, this sounds like a wonderful moment to have since you're all in this room, there's suddenly a sound from the NPCs. Give me my NPCs. Where's my NPCs? There. No. No. There he is. A sound of someone coming down the stairs. Aggie the droid says, "Oh, my lord, my lord, my lord. Greetings, my lord." Someone growls, "Shut up, droid." And a moment later, a striking fellow wearing, okay, those are robes, kind of. They look like robes. They look like the sort of robes that you would expect to see on someone from Mysteries. They don't precisely entirely fit, but close enough. And he's an attractive fellow. He looks human-ish, maybe. Probably human. Striking pale, striking black hair, glowing gold eyes, sweeps into the room and goes, "Ah, we have guests. Greetings, I am Count Murgad, the master of this manor. Be welcome." Should we end it there?
I found a gif of him.
Yeah, that's pretty close, except longer hair. He is giving the vampire vibe in weird, Sithy ways. Should we end off?
But if we ended off here,
With be welcome?
then what are we going to plug?
Oh, that's right, we should plug things. Ellie,
I
who
plug
should
in the
we
space
plug?
heater.
Well, Eo's mom writes books.
At elizabeth-mccoy.com. And
Speaking of websites.
I wasn't expecting that plug to be that short.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
oh well, I've got a cat in my lap.
There we go. Speaking of websites, we put all of these podcasts on aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. So you can listen to them all for free. There are RSS feeds for all of them, or you can subscribe to all of them all at once, everything all together. And if for some reason you know someone else would like these, please share them with them. Spread the word. I don't pay for advertising or anything, but I like when people listen to stuff that we make together. And if you really like them and want to help us break even, because web hosting is not free, unless you want to be the product, not the customer, you can help us out with our Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy. And until next time, this is Beth saying,
Do hope you had a lovely trip and that you can stay for quite some time. Night, everyone.
good night.
Good night.